This is a pedigree, and when we look at humans and the patterns of human inheritance, we often will use something like this to illustrate how some kind of trait is passed down. So just to get you started, some common things: the square represents the male and the circle's going to represent the female. If the male is, or female is, what we consider normal without having and when we say normal, we are talking about the one specific trait that we're looking at. So a pedigree is going to analyze one trait, like does this person have hemophilia, which is that disease where they don't, the blood does not clot. So this would be normal, as in not having the hemophilia, and then the red, or the different color in this case, would be a person who has that particular trait that's being studied. Okay, so if you see someone in here that is half of one color and half of another color, and this is a square, so it's a recessive, it's a carrier male, and then this is a carrier female. So this person has the gene just like the mother did, and the son has the gene just like the mother did. Okay, so we express the parents up here, and we put a Roman numeral 1 because this is the parent generation, and then Roman numeral 2 is going to be the first set of kids, or the offspring. So these are all siblings. So that's a pedigree, and you're going to see them and how we use them to study inheritance. Now, we can infer what the genotypes are based on how many of the children or the offspring get whatever it is that's being studied. So if we see here that they're carriers, but none of them actually have that trait being studied, then we can infer that one of the parents was a carrier. We can look statistically, at whether or not, what are the statistics of somebody actually getting a disease. So we can keep track of this, and this is important. The royal family has hemophilia in their genetic, and they pass that down through generations. I think that we may have watched a video on that. So now, different patterns of inheritance. We have talked about, like the normal dominance. This is an incomplete dominance. You had a video on this, the Amoeba Sisters video. So if you see incomplete dominance, then you don't have, when there's a heterozygote, which is a capital letter and a small letter, you're going to have a pink, sort of, blending together, because it's not complete. The capital R does not completely cover up or dominate over the little r. So if you see incomplete dominance, this is, sometimes it's just a little bit hard to remember. I just think of pink with an I in it and incomplete. So, red flowers, white flowers give pink, and that's an example of incomplete dominance. If you have a better way to remember it, then let me know. Codominance. I like to remember this like, co-captains of a team. They have sort of equal authority in a team, and not one of them is expressed over, more importantly than the other. And so with codominance, then that pattern of inheritance is where both of them are expressed. And a good example of this is sickle cell disease. So people with sickle cell disease have if they're heterozygous, they're going to have some normal shaped cells and some of these sickle shaped cells. So sickle cell anemia can be very painful for people who have it, because these little cells are not very flexible. These little round cells, they collapse and they go into the small blood vessels and very easily. These do not. They can be very painful for people. In the next video, we'll pick up on some other types of inheritance. We're going to go into multiple alleles and blood typing.